games, I don't agree with violence in any form in real life. Viewer discretion is advised as these clips are all uncensored. I wanted to document some of the goriest video games out there within our community, and I hope you guys enjoy the video as a reference point only. Cheers. Thrill Kill, arguably a controversial title in itself, was cancelled in the late 90s at what critics dubbed a game with mindless violence. 4 players fought to the death using punishing moves reminiscent of Mortal Kombat fatalities. Pulling limbs, smashing heads and slicing bodies are not uncommon moves to see in Thrill Kill. Me personally, with this list, I'd say that Thrill Kill is one of the tamer games. The Punisher is a series that focuses on interrogation and torture that often leads players to witness some brutal scenes like throwing people into meat grinders. It's hard to avoid the gore in The Punisher, as the harder we interrogate, the higher the chances of us gaining information. The game hasn't aged too well, which certainly takes the edge off the gore, thankfully. Postal 2 was released on Windows and Mac operating systems. It is a first-person shooter and a terribly gruesome one at that. The developers tried to cushion the controversy blow by arguing that players have choices on what violence to inflict. Nonetheless, Postal 2 certainly warranted banning in some countries for brutal acts of animal cruelty and torturing people alive, and many more acts of horrendous violence. Mortal Kombat X, the most recent addition to the list. Mortal Kombat is a series that's famous for its grotesque fatality moves. X pushed the limits of the series to pinpoint accuracy on the sound effects and slow motion close-ups of some of the most brutal fatalities. Darkness 2, and dark indeed it is. Ever wondered what it would be like to have 2 giant snake-looking tendrils coming out of the side of your body? No? Me neither. The Darkness 2 does have a pretty good job at showing us just how lethal these tendrils can be. Great for throwing, ripping, lifting and tearing bodies. Gross. If you're in Australia, look away now because Manhunt is banned. Well, actually, you're not playing it, so you can continue to watch. Manhunt 2 was developed by Rockstar Games, so no surprises there on the level of controversy. This is another game that hasn't aged too well, so I believe that it's taken the edge off the grotesque and stealthy kills that we witness in Manhunt. Using things like shards of glass, bags, blunt objects, sharp objects, you name it, it all adds up to the gore level in Manhunt 2. Another next-gen title that takes the gore meter off the charts, The Evil Within. I don't think I've played a game that contains as much blood as this. Sometimes the blood is there for us just to simply wade through. It's hard to avoid the gore in The Evil Within, and it's often softened by its semi-personable storyline involving Sebastian. I particularly found this when I heard the Claire de Lune track and entering the safe zone. A definite and welcome break from some of the horror in this game. Helios is the god of the sun and guardian of oaths, but here in God of War 3, he's pretty screwed. The series is pretty new to me, and I concluded that there is some extreme violence in the game that often made me turn away. Need we say any more than referring to the scene where Kratos tears off Helios' head rather viciously. This scene I've watched numerous times as I played the game. It literally made my stomach churn. But what do you guys think? The in-game action in Dead Space 2 can be pretty gross at times when it comes to gore. However, I personally found that the cutscenes are arguably closer to the bone, whilst depicting horror, pain, torture and screams. Phantasmagoria was released on the PC in North America and Europe in 1995 and had a Sega Saturn release in Japan in 1997. Probably the goriest game known on the planet, and I would not play this game at all. Naturally, this is my opinion, but it's heightened by the fact that the developers use real actors, so it appears incredibly graphic and incredibly real. And to soften the blow of all that horror, here's my cat reading his copy of Retro Gamer. Thanks for watching, please like, comment and subscribe. There'll be more top 10 videos in the description.